Hi everyone, welcome to my Shoreline Studio. I'm Sybille Muschik, behind the camera is Joshua Blanc. What we're doing today is sort of a variation on our trace monotype. I have discovered that we can do it right on paper. I've put some layers down, we have something to trace. We have a nice photocopy of the yurt on the 3100 road just out of Wells. And another piece of paper just to protect the carbon paper. And then here is the paper we're going to be transferring to. From there we transfer it to the gel plate and it will be in reverse, and then when we print it, it will be the right way. So this is one way of getting a really good transfer, and you don't have to worry about reversing things because you're drawing directly. So here we go. Now I'd already started just to check, and our little chimney. And we'll be taking some liberties with this drawing. Obviously we're not going to do every last little mark. I'm using an 4H pencil. That's perfect for this kind of thing. I found that say an HB or a 4B pencil is too soft to make a good impression. Now, it's such a shame this isn't operating anymore. I'm hoping the owners will consider, maybe this would be a really wonderful artist retreat. Do some great lessons out in nature. There's mountains in the area. It's just absolutely breathtaking. Now we can paint in the shadow areas on the gel plate. So I'm just sort of getting the shapes. This is such good practice for learning about putting in shapes only. So we have some tree shapes here, just roaring through this. Down in here we're just going to throw some color on. Right, okay, let's have a peek. We won't take it off entirely. And wow, looks great. Now with the carbon paper, it's definitely dark enough to transfer really well. So we're going to put that on our gel plate and make an impression here. Give it a fair amount of pressure and we'll see what we have. Looks pretty good. All right, so we have registered our paper, as you see, just taping it down. Make sure this is attached properly so that it doesn't move and your registration goes off. We have our drawing on here and we're going to put a little bit of matte medium. This is just to transfer the drawing. And now the carbon paper is maybe a little paler than, say, if you did it directly with charcoal or graphite, but it works pretty good, and it's a nice way to get an image if you don't want to draw anything like this. So I'm just going to do sort of like a wash you know, I've got a little bit of water here. I've got some Copic pens, and they're kind of like a brush on one end, and they were pretty good. Maybe to give some, I'm just going to do some blue on here, so I have sort of a feeling for where everything is. And at this point, you can make a lot of this stuff up. Just the structure is important. And you can see we're just going to use a little bit of, this is acrylic paint, right? So you can just, we have some medium because we use the matte medium in order to get this off. So now we can just manipulate the paint a little bit. And just do lots of negative painting. You can get this off, you know, with mineral oil. It's not going to harm your gel plate. So maybe a little bit more, some different color. There we go. So sort of line and wash. Okay. A brown Posca pen, and we're just going to go over the lines here. And now, as you notice, this is all in reverse. When we print it, it's going to be the right way. So it's a very rough drawing. This is just an illustration of, you know, if you want to trace something that's complicated, this is the way to do it. And it'll have its own sort of vibe. There's a tree in here, so we get a little bit of the structure. We just might as well put the chimney in. So we can outline the little stones. There's this window here. I guess this is the door with a window in it. Okay. And sort of, it all disappears behind bushes here. And then we're just going to do the shapes of the trees. There's and there's that little evergreen here we could put in if you like. You end up drawing anyway. But you got the rough parts of it, right? So that saves you a bit of time. And then there's a little area of light here, and here, and down in here. And this had a bush or some kind or something in here. And a bit of grass. And there's sort of a wall now that I look at it. Here's where our highlight is. We'll put some yellow in there. And our chimney. This is a white frame, and then okay, our big shadow is actually in here. And we'll put some yellow on these ones. This is in the light. And working a lot with negative shapes. I just want this to be a really quick video as to give you the idea rather than, you know, a great work of art. But it should be fairly effective. And then here are little highlights on the grasses. And this tree is in light. And we leave a lot of this because the building is quite light, and don't forget when we print it's going to be on white paper for the most part, and you don't need to put white, it'll be just the paper. And we get some dramatic darks in there. This is dark. Our windows will be dark. And a few shadow. I guess we'll make this a bit darker too, because that's all in shadow. And then just between the trees you can put some darks, just to give them some divisions here. I'm actually using the the pen to, now it's coming out. We can use that little blob to our advantage. And throw in a little bit of orange in here. There. So it's a little bit like a monochrome, which is fine. It gets the point across. You can take off, put in whatever you want. And this part was supposed to be quite dark. It's in shadow. Now we'll see how this prints, because it could be quite interesting. Shadow goes along here too. I'm just thinking it would be nice to have the blue in the front here, because a lot of it was in shadow. And the black is a little stark. And, you know, if you want to scrape in a trunk or two, very doable. Oh, maybe a branch. This reminds me a little bit of Milne, who had a very limited palette and used a lot of browns and lots of mark making. Probably a really good artist to look up. It's like a Canadian artist. Not A.A. Milne, the poet, but now we're going to let this dry. I'm going to maybe take off as much of the liquid stuff as I can, and then we'll release it with matte medium. And it's either going to be a really disgusting mess or it's going to be quite interesting. But the point was, you know, to be able to trace directly, transfer it to the gel plate, and then paint it in whatever medium you want. And, you know, use your matte medium to release the image, and you might have a really fabulous print. And if not, then you've learned a lot, and try another one. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got lots more good stuff coming at you, and just wait for the reveal. So we've got everything dry, and we have our paper ready to go. We just need our matte medium. A little bit, not too much. I always say that, but it's true. Otherwise you have a terrible time drawing. And not only that, I think it delaminates your papers, so watch it. Not too much. Now, again, you have to wait for it to dry, so. And I'm going to take it off for the most part. It's come off just with that couple of minutes of. And of course, at this stage, you know, if you're not happy with the print and you want to make additions, you know, you just work back into it. See, the sky turned out really nice. Oh, just on the side here. Okay. So, yeah, it's a good print. I would maybe work on this tree a tiny bit more. But look at our shadow, turned out really well. And, you know, there's some light on the grasses on the front. Maybe a little bit more color on that. But our yurt looks yurtish. And of course, you know, at this stage, you can also add more color to it. You know, if you had I could probably mix a nice beige or something and keep it light, and you might be able to even do it in watercolor. I'm just using, you know, Posca pens and my Copic markers to give you the idea. All sorts of possibilities. Anyway, it looks pretty good. And, you know, you can, to get this back part, I would just need more medium. So, and that's what we can do. So, and also, because we did lose a lot of the color here, another layer of medium might help, maybe with a few hours of drying. And we'll show it at the end and see how it turned out. But yeah, there you go. And trace monotype, paper to paper.